Today's notes are going to be on solving two-step equations. There are two steps to solving two-step equations, which is why they're named two-step equations. The first step is to undo addition or subtraction. And then the second step is to undo multiplication or division. Alright, so here's some examples. We want you to draw your line down the equal sign. Remember, you move things from one side of the equal sign to the other by doing the opposite operation. So this is 3 times g minus 7 equals 11. You move addition and subtraction first. So this minus 7 is going to be moved before the 3. This is a minus 7. The opposite of minus 7 is plus 7. So add 7 to both sides. You'll get 3g equals 11 plus 7 is 18. Now we're not done because we still have to move this 3. Okay, this is 3 times g. The opposite of times is divide. So you're going to divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so you have 1g all by itself. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So g equals 6. Our first step was to add 7 to both sides, and our second step was to divide by 3. Alright, second example, draw a line down your equal sign. Again, you move addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to move this plus 5 by subtracting 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. So we'll have a 4a equals negative 20, because negative 15 minus 5 is negative 20. Now we still have a 4 times a. The opposite of times is divide. So divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we'll get 1a equals negative 20 divided by 4, which is negative 5. Alright, here's some more examples. These ones look a little bit different, but they're still two-step equations. You move addition and subtraction first. So this is n divided by 4 minus 1. The opposite of minus 1 is plus 1. You always move addition and subtraction first. We're left with n divided by 4 equals negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. The opposite of a divide by 4 is multiply 4. So we'll multiply both sides by 4, leaving us with an n equals whatever negative 2 times 4 is, which is negative 8. Alright, over here, this is kind of a typo. It's right on your paper. That 6 is supposed to be right there. Draw a line down your equal sign. This is 8 minus d divided by 6. This is a subtraction problem. Okay, you always move addition and subtraction first, but this is minus d divided by 6, so you're still going to move this 8 first. Even though this is a subtraction problem, this 8 is actually a positive 8. So you're going to have to move it by subtracting 8 from both sides. 8 minus 8 is 0, leaving us with negative minus d over 6 equals negative 10. Okay, we didn't do anything with this negative yet, so we have to keep it along. Now this is negative d divided by 6. The opposite of divided by 6 is times 6. Again, this leaves us with negative d equals negative 60. Now we've already done 2 steps. In this particular type of problem, we're actually going to have to do 3 steps because this negative is really the same as a negative 1 times d. The opposite of times is divide, so you're actually going to divide again. Okay, the negative divided by negative is a positive, so now we have a positive d equals a positive 60. Okay. Alright, draw your line down your equal sign. These look like one-step equations, but because they are similar to the last problem, we're going to have to do them in 2 steps. The first thing you do is move addition and subtraction. This is 3 minus e, but we want to leave e here, so we don't want to move minus e. We want to move the 3. This is a positive 3. So the opposite of a plus 3 or a positive 3 is a minus 3. This leaves us with negative e. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Similar to the last problem, this negative e is the same as a negative 1 times e. The opposite of times is divide, so to get rid of that negative sign, you divide by negative 1, leaving us with a positive e and a positive 8. Alright, our variable's on the opposite side now. That doesn't make a difference. You're still going to move the 5. It's a positive 5, so you're going to subtract 5. Okay, negative 8 minus 5 is negative 13, and that equals negative q. Again, you cannot get rid of that negative until you divide. Again, a negative q is the same as negative 1 times q. The opposite of times is divide. So if you divide both sides by negative 1, that will leave you with a positive q and a positive 13, which is what you wanted. Alright, again, draw a line down your equal sign. Okay, this is a two-step equation because this is 2/3 times x plus 5. So you're multiplying 2/3 by x and adding 5. We're actually going to do this in 3 steps so that you don't have to worry about dividing by a fraction because most of you don't like fractions. So we're still going to move addition and subtraction first. So you're still going to start by subtracting 5. That'll leave you with 2x over 3 equals 4. Now instead of thinking of this as a fraction, 2/3 x, you can think of this as 2 times x divided by 3. The opposite of a divide by 3 is a multiply by 3. So multiply both sides by 3, leaving you with 2x, which is 2 times x, equals 12. Now you can get rid of the 2. This is 2 times x, the opposite of times is divide. So instead of having to divide by a fraction and worrying about those rules, you can do it in 2 separate steps. You can always get rid of a fraction by multiplying by the denominator and then dividing by the numerator in 2 separate steps. So again, over here, draw your line. Then we're going to subtract 9. This is a positive 9. The opposite of a positive 9 is a negative 9 or a subtract 9. 9 minus 9 is 0, leaving us with negative 3 times y divided by 4 equals 3. Now we have negative 3y divided by 4. The opposite of a divide by 4 is a multiply by 4. 4 divided by 4 goes away, leaving us with a negative 3y equals 12. This is negative 3 times y. The opposite of times is divide, so divide by negative 3. 3's will go away, leaving us with y equals 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. So we broke those into 3 steps, but for most of us it's easier to do an extra step than have to worry about fractions.